Hello Internet. Today I'm going to be doing a quick Terran versus Terran. Teacher versus Juzkus. Follow my player cam. And here we go. So, start off the normal way, send in your probe guys. And he says have fun, I say you too. Okay. So anyways. This part is, like I say, usually the same. You just go and send your guys and fetch minerals. Lots of fun. I have nine workers. I usually go and make my first supply depot. Then I usually make the barrack and another supply depot. Sometimes I'll do it in the other order. I'll do supply depot, barrack. I'm not sure what kind of difference it makes. But I guess if they do attack early, it would be nicer to have the barracks up just so you can get a marine out faster, but really I'm not sure the difference that it makes. Other than that, he didn't attack that early in this game, so I was safe. Anyways, I have my barracks up, and I have a bunch of workers in the queue and a bunch of marines in the queue, so I'm sitting at a pretty good place right now. Mineral-wise, got a decent income for where I'm at, I think. It's only 3.5 minutes into the game and I got several workers. And now I'm getting ready to build my second base, and there it is. It's early, but whoa, that was X-Fire. That was loud, sorry about that. Anyways, so I got my second base building. I'm going to continue building more, training more Marines and more SCVs. If you notice, I don't have the fan on this time. I figured it was kind of annoying last time. It was, but I didn't feel like re-recording, so sorry about that. Anyways, setting my rally points. Alright, now I'm finally turning this into an orbital command. Usually that's one of the earlier things I do. I do it before I have that many workers, usually, because I think it's really useful, but
Upgrade.
I usually just use it for the mules, just because it's quicker income, but that's just what I like to use it for. But I got 2 bases up, working at 6.5 minutes, so it's pretty good. Usually, I'll scan with the base, but I noticed that he put up a sensor tower. If you can see on the map, that he put up a sensor tower, so I didn't need to scan. I knew where he was. He would know when I was coming, but I didn't need to scan or scout or anything because I knew where he was. So I just continued building my army. I was going for the tanks and marines again. That's why I got both gases pretty early. I don't have gases on the second base yet, but I will start that soon. Now I think I start building my bunkers. A decision that actually probably saved me early in the game. Or not earlier, kind of midpoint in the game. They sent over a bunch of marines. Well, you'll see later. But anyways, I just know that it helped me out a lot. Now I'm going to start making some tanks here pretty soon. There we go. And I start my starport. The only reason I really make a starport these days is for medevacs, unless I'm playing Protoss. And I use Ravens. Ravens are very nice for against Protoss. So we're just kind of waiting. I'm building my engineering bay and oh my dear, what is that called? That's a good question. I'm building my upgrades. That's what it's called. Anyways, sending my marines in those. That was the decision that saved me early game. Now, unfortunately, sorry, I'm gonna take a look real quick and see what it's called. Armory, thank you. Those driving me nuts. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh. I should have teched, I put a tech lab earlier on one of my barracks. I really don't know why I didn't. I guess I wasn't thinking. That's the only explanation in my mind, because usually that's one of the first things. I'll put a reactor in one and a tech lab on the other. And I'll usually start with the tech lab so I can get my combat shields and my stim pack. Not necessarily in that order either.
Additional supply depots required.
Pretty quick here, he'll be attacking actually. I believe. I build another barrack because I realize I want a tech lab on one. Sometimes I do like switch a factory and a barrack if one has one of each that I do, but I was continuously making tanks, so it wouldn't have been useful for me to switch because I wasn't going to make any aliens. So got a good amount of everything now. It's getting pretty close to go attack. At some point in the near future here, he's gonna send out too. I was just composing my army too. It was just a young army. He comes in with his marauders and yeah, I put down the extra supply depot deals for security. I mean, I got supply capped. Oh, there's the attack. You know, that took out my little bunkers, gave me time to get down there and took out a good number of them. And then I followed them back to the base. I stopped at a couple points to make sure they were hotkeyed and set my planes to follow, or my medevacs to follow the Marines instead of lead the way. Now, here's my little small scale attack actually. Took out pretty much his entire army there. Secondary base. Just made quick work of that. Now, the one thing I noticed is that had I gotten stim pack, I probably could have taken this whole base out. Now I noticed that my medevacs are actually carrying some Marines still, but I send them back to continue making more of an army. But if I had stim pack earlier in the game, I think I probably could have taken out this whole base at this point. That's when he moves his base over to the western base, not northwestern, but the second most northern west base. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, but anyways, I sent my guys back, started making more tanks and more Marines. Now they have their combat shields and stims, so the next time I send them out, they won't be painfully weak. I'm continuously sending upgrades. I have the attacks for both all the way upgraded, and I'm working on their armors. So sometimes I'll build two engineering bays and 2 armories at the same time, so I can do both, but no, I just didn't this game. And I think pretty quick here, yep, I send out all my mules to do some more mineral harvesting. As you can see, I'm way more than I need. I have almost 7,000 minerals and really no means to spend it. So I'm almost ready to send another army. I never rallied them over there, but it's a relatively small army, but I've been finding that you don't always need to wait until 40 minutes into the game to send out a giant army. You can sometimes just get away with smaller attacks and just keep poking them. If you just do a bunch of small pokes and they're just not ready for it, you know, sometimes that's all it takes. So here I go. Sending my army out again. Checking to see if he has any secondary bases. It looked like he was defending that. Either that or he was waiting for me to leave so he could make an attack. Which he actually does, but by no means the extent of mine, really. Did a little bit of damage there with the siege tanks, but no harm done. I took those out without much of a problem at all. As you can see, he's attacking my base too, but I never actually looked over there to see what he had, because it didn't last that very long. Sending, see, I should have stimmed there, I probably could have taken that out, but no. I took out his base, took out his missile turret, now I'm going to go and take out that starport. Now I'm going to look for another base. I believe I found it on the first try. Yep. He had started to rebuild, but no dice. Just did not work out for him. Let's see. He says, ouch, and there's the GG, and it was over. The teacher has been taught. That's what I was saying. Let's see what he had over here. Yeah, he had a couple banshees. We were leading his attack, but I moved my base from there a long time ago down to here, so which I probably forgot to mention in this video. But anyways, thanks for watching.